start cooking, let's make sure that we're set up in the kitchen. If you're new here, hi, I'm Sam. I work at Haven's Kitchen. We have just started walking through this cookbook together. The very first thing we are going to do today, before we start with anything on the table here, is just make sure that we are set up for success in the kitchen. The main things we're going to learn today are reading recipes, setting up your workspace, staying clean and organized, what to stock in your refrigerator and pantry. Let us just go ahead and get to it, eh? This will be a learning journey, as we already know. It'll allow for some reading comprehension, maybe. To summarize, you will be reading recipes twice over before you've even started cooking. You'll want to allot enough time for the recipe, from prep to cook time and everything in between. Then when you start cooking, you will read the recipe one more time all the way through. Make sure to follow each step, not skipping a step at all. And then only when you've started getting a little more comfortable with the recipe will you tweak things and adjust as needed. Last but not least, if you like a recipe, pass it to someone you love. That's actually, I'm adding that to my goals for this thing, is maybe I could have some recipes for kids. Panning over here, our next step would be to set up your workspace. That means keeping everything kind of close together. You have your cutting board, your bowls, all of your knives, everything you may need kind of in the same space. Okay, I gotta stop cracking up. For example, if your cutting board is wobbly or moving around, you can put a rag underneath and it'll stay put. Things like that can just help you make sure that you're set up in the kitchen before you've gone too far and you're cooking and everything's everywhere and everything's gone haywire. This point is actually very helpful because it tells you to stay clean and organized by having all of your measured out ingredients right in front of you, so that when you actually go to cook, you can just kind of pour everything in with its desired measurement and not be kind of choppy and scatterbrained, I guess. Think about when you're cooking and it asks you midway through the recipe to measure out this ingredient, this spice, and it just kind of stops you right in your tracks, and meanwhile your broth is burning on the stove over there. You don't want that to happen. Instead, you can have everything laid out in front of you and it's just ready to go as the recipe calls for it.
I don't know if the broth would burn,
but that's why they're learning from you. I was just told that broth does not burn, but something could be burning in the background. Another very important thing to consider when you're starting to cook, like myself, is everything that you may need in the pantry and the refrigerator. Looking at this page now, there's quite a few things you need, many of which I do not have, but just to call out a few, we'll need a few different oils, a few different spices, salt, obviously. If you don't have salt, I don't know, just get out the kitchen right now. Flour, grains, nuts, seeds, soy sauce, aioli, hot sauce, anchovies, you name it, beans, etc. For your fridge, the list is a little shorter, so I think we may be able to achieve all of this. It looks like we'll need cheese, butter, eggs, mustard, citrus, herbs, garlic, and miso. I personally won't be keeping miso in my fridge because I have Haven's Kitchen gingery miso sauce, but you can do whatever you want. That's fine. Weird, but it's fine. Feel free to tweak this as you go and know what you cook most often, what you need most often, and roll with it. Pretty much everything that you need to set yourself up for success, and that starts with, let me go back to my first page here, reading recipes, setting up your workspace, staying clean and organized, and making sure you have everything for your pantry and fridge. Once you have all of these things set, you are good to go. And to follow along on my cooking journey, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next episode.